Thank you for asking this question. This woman asked this question on my post that was talking about how the achievement gap between girls and boys is widening. And she was wondering if this was a US problem or if this was a global problem or something more cultural. And that is a great question. I had already intended to dive into this. I was going to dive into it tomorrow. I'm going to talk about some of the differences between girls and boys, and then tomorrow I'm going to address an article that I was given that talks about the global implication. But for right now, this article came out this past June. It says child development expert why boys are falling behind in education. So let's just at least look at the differences between girls and boys. One of the issues that we're currently facing globally is the emphasis on masculinity. And that is the reason why I know that this is not just a phenomenon that is here in the United States. It is a global issue that deals with the patriarchy, where boys are taught that they have to be strong, they got to be competitive, they have to establish power. So anywhere that you see this, you're probably going to see similar things. So this statement right here. Very seldom does masculinity connect to studying, getting good grades, and pursuing higher education. So this professor from Cal State, he examines how gender socialization and developmental psychology impact boys' success and performance in educational settings. Okay, often boys who do well in school are tagged with pejoratives. They're called nerds. They're seen as boys that aren't good at anything else. Other boys see this, and then is it any wonder that they do not try harder in school? It says males tend to earn lower grades and test scores and experience higher expulsion rates than females. This data has been widely researched and collected, and until recently, little has been done to explain why those differences exist. And little has been done to self correct or correct this situation. People are talking about it, but very few people are actually doing anything about it because it would include fixing society, which has socialized boys to put more emphasis on power and being competitive. Studies have shown that boys may be a bit behind girls developmentally when they begin formal classroom instruction. When it comes to the parts of the brain that are about executive functioning, delayed gratification, and self-regulation, those mature later for boys than they do for girls. Once boys are on this trajectory, it tends to generate those self-sustaining effects, and the gap continues to widen as they go through high school and college. Okay, so suggestion, starting in elementary education, he said that schools can make such changes as revising discipline strategies, including warnings and constructive conversations, diversifying lesson plans to better align with students' interests and backgrounds. On college campuses, it suggested that such changes as expanded mentorship opportunities and training for faculty members who support male students. I have been talking about this. Men come to my pages and just whine, but instead of doing something about it, like creating and organizing things for boys, they just want to jump in our comment section and act like women are supposed to fix it. Men need to fix this. All right, he said, as well as establish partnerships with local schools to establish a pipeline for young boys who want additional support to go to college. I want all students to have as much opportunity to succeed as possible. We want to get to a place where people are able to express their identities in a way that is true to themselves and in a way that they're comfortable with so they can reach their potential. So that is what he said. Basically, it's more men need to get involved, and we need to change society's focus on masculinity. You know, the all this masculine energy that is being pushed to boys, where it's like you got to compete, overpower people. That is too much of a focus and is jacking up these little boys' brains. And then they're becoming older kids with more aggression and less education, and it's becoming a problem. So to this woman's question, she was wondering if this was just in the US or if it's also international. So the article that I'm going to deep dive into is going to talk about the global implications of education in little boys. So I'm going to dive into this article tomorrow. But I did at least want to talk about this other article that I was given today. You guys let me know what you think. Jump in the comments, like, comment, share.